Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crayon Eaters Unite, our bi-weekly live show that we do here to bring you updates and bring on some amazing Marine veteran guests. I'm Frank Manto. I'm the CEO of Crayons Ready to Eat. And if you haven't heard what Crayons Ready to Eat is, I'm about ready to tell you. If you have or have not heard the joke about calling us Marines Crayon Eaters, go look it up if you haven't, and you'll learn a lot about it and hopefully get some laughs along the way. But we have brought that joke to reality. We have created the first edible, colorable chocolate crayon. The three C's to a Marine's necessity of chow. Colorable, chocolate, crayons. Well, we're going to make everyone a crayon eater, one CRE at a time. That's a quick ordeal with us and who we are. And I want to bring you up the brains behind Crayons Ready to Eat. The person that made it all possible whenever I brought up the idea.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Gordon, COO of Crayons Ready to Eat. Like Frank said, I was the brains behind the whole idea. Although he came up with the idea, so it's definitely a 50-50. This wouldn't have come up if he didn't come up with the idea.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering where to be able to find us at, you can find us at the bottom. You'll see the ticker going on, crayonsreadytoeat.com. You can go there. Our crayons are actually on pre-order.
That's
right.
You
can order now and be able to get, and shipping is going to start May 1st, which is right around the corner. So get your pre-orders in now. You can also find us on Facebook at Crayons Ready to Eat. You can find us on Instagram, Crayons Ready to Eat as well. We're also on TikTok at Crayons Ready to Eat. We're on Twitter, crayons_R_E. And like I said, we have brought you edible, colorable crayons. So
the first ever.
That is correct. So one of the things we want to let you know is we want to thank you all for everything that you have done over the last 4+ years that we've been doing this, your support, your help, your sharing. As I've always said, sharing is caring, and we can't thank you enough for being able to help us make this happen and make this possible. So, Cass, how can they stay in touch with us and be able to know what's going on?
Oh, yeah. So you can actually sign up for our newsletter on our website. That will keep you up to date. That will let you know what we've done, what we have purchased, how far we're going on our milestones and everything. But of course, you can still follow us on our social media because we're always constantly posting on there as well. But yeah, definitely sign up for the newsletter.
Definitely. So with that being said, like we've already talked about, we encourage you to go ahead and place your pre-orders now. And one of the greatest things that we're doing for you up until May 1st, we're offering you a 10% discount code.
That's right. So don't forget to use that because that will go away after a while. So
May 1st,
this would be the perfect time.
Going away. So get in there.
Right?
So what is the biggest news that we've got to share this week so far, Cass?
Oh my gosh. So our manufacturer finally got our molds. So we got our custom molds done, and they were on their way, but now we can confirm that our actual manufacturer got a hold of them. So that's super exciting.
Yep.
I can't
wait.
Made
it all the way from Italy. So everybody can enjoy real delicious colorful chocolate crayons really soon. So
that's
keep that in mind.
So
yeah, it's been an amazing 4-year ride, and actually to sit there and know, and if you watched our show 2 weeks ago, you could actually go back and watch our show either on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And do us a favor, in the comments, put down there if you're watching us live or you're watching us on replay, and let us know whenever you catch this so we can be able to, keep in touch with you and comment and everything. Also, we try to do everything we possibly can to keep you guys updated. Our newsletters have been a little bit, in and out, once a month type deal, because we wanted to give you solid, concrete information. And that's the best way we know how to let you know what's going on, is to make sure we know 100% what's happening. And as I was saying, you go back to the last show, see a picture of the molds, but we now know that they are in the hands of our manufacturing facility.
They're in really good hands, I tell you what, because they are. We had samples sent to us, and they are delicious. So, it's so
yes,
good.
They are. So one thing we want to do here is, every 2 weeks we also bring on, and I hope I did freeze. Okay, there we go. I thought I froze out. So one of the things that we like to do is we be able to bring on Marine Corps veteran artists, and we want to let you guys know what is going on with other Marine veterans out there in the world, what they're doing, what they're making happening. And tonight we're going to end up bringing up here in just a little bit is we're going to bring up Elliot McKenzie. He is a R&B artist and songwriter. But before we do that, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of advisory. I want to play one of his songs, and I want you guys to be able to hear some of the amazing, this guy is just phenomenal. Okay.
He's talented.
So I want you to be able to
So
hear him,
talented.
listen to a song. Now, if any of those are out there that are military, very, very talented. So one of the things that I am going to say is this could be a trigger warning. So if you do have any situations of combat and things of that nature, you may want to turn your volume down. So let me get it loaded up here as soon as I get it to cooperate. Bear with me. So we're going to put this on the main screen here. And we're going to get this to come up. Never mind. No, that didn't do what I wanted to do. Bear with me. This is what happens on live show. There we go. Now let's put it up in here to play. If I can figure it out, 1 second to get it to play. Hopefully it is playing. No, it's not playing. Is it? Okay, bear with me. Bear with me.
I know it was playing part of the music, but not the video.
Exactly.
If that helps.
So, yep. This is where the technical difficulties come in for a second.
We're all
Share
human.
Screen this here. Share. And I think we're now ready to go.
Shots fired, my station, all around my position. Oh yeah, yeah. Whoa. Training kicks in, cover, concealment. Oh yeah. Whoa. Adrenaline's pumping, heartbeat thumping. I'm in fight or flight mode. Heartbeats racing, then I get angry. Must kill the enemy. But then I realize I'm back home. Sounds like gunshots everywhere I go. Makes me wanna hit.
Okay, I think we're having internet issues. Yep, we had internet issues, folks. So hold on 1 second.
The flow, yeah. Heartbeats racing out of time, 'cause I think I'm out of time, yeah. I probably won't, but I gotta get control tonight. Strangers looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with him, yeah. Whoa, whoa. They don't know what I hear when I hear that sound, yeah. I hear combat, adrenaline's pumping, heartbeats thumping. I'm in fight or flight mode. Heartbeats racing, then I get angry. Must kill the enemy. But then I realize I'm back home. Sounds like gunshots everywhere I go. Makes me wanna hit the floor, yeah. Hey, heartbeats racing out of time, 'cause I think I'm out of time, yeah. I probably won't, but I gotta get control.
Gotta get a grip on me. I did amazing feat. Life been slippery as a veteran Marine. When you come back, no one knows the scene, but you've been through all the things. What makes it hard to breathe when you come back? Sitting here in class, when I first heard something crash, reminded me of that blast from an enemy out in a rap. When you come back, hearing them gunshot, landing on my paws, thinking all is lost in Central Alumbar, and this is killing me slowly, skipping my heartbeat, flipping out constant on all of the people who love me. So many walls that I punched in, splinters and knuckles, everyone seeming to bug me. Don't none of you touch me. Now give me my distance. All of you folks, girls say I'm different, really the picture. I cannot tell what is the difference. Now I'm just tripping. I always revisit that time in 06 when I was with the infantry. Rockets were zipping and bullets were snapping, and when I came back to you, hear what I'm
Sounds
hearing?
like gunshots everywhere I go.
Gunshots.
Makes me wanna hit the floor everywhere I go. Yeah. Heartbeats racing out of time, 'cause I think I'm out of time, yeah. I probably won't, but I gotta get control tonight.
Now that is Elliot McKenzie. I know we had some glitches. Apologize. Internet was cutting in and out a little bit. So, but if you get a chance, go to his YouTube, look up Elliot McKenzie, you'll find him. And without further ado, here he is. If I can get it to click and bring him up. Elliot, there he is.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, buddy? Doing
That's
good.
that's that ghetto internet you got down there in San Diego. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
that AT&T or whatever you got.
I don't know what it is. It happens.
It's
welcome to the live show,
bro.
right?
How you been, brother?
Doing really good, really good, really good.
I'm excited. I'm about to come down there and taste this new batch.
Oh yeah.
That good, huh?
Man.
Oh,
That
you
was
just
good.
it better than any white chocolate that I've ever tasted in my life.
I was about to say white chocolate would be a good idea too. Is it white or is it regular chocolate?
It is
It's
white.
Oh, that's the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Now you're talking my recipe right there.
Exactly.
It's a little bit of both. A
Elliot,
little bit of white, little bit of chocolate.
there you go. Elliot, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day, because I know you got a lot of things going on between, your music and, the things that you do with Vet TV and everything else. So I want you to, tell us a little bit about your Marine Corps career.
So I served in the Marine Corps from 2003 to 2007. Um, from the time I was a little kid in junior high, pretty much, I knew I wanted to be a Marine. I was one of those kids that had the Marine Corps flag hanging up in my room with the American flag. Saw the recruiting commercials on TV, the one where the guy's on the bridge and he slays the dragon with the NCO sword. I saw that and I was hooked. So literally 5 days after I graduated high school, I was on the Yellow Footprints in recruit training, on my way to earning the title Marine. While I was in recruit training, I was selected for what's called Presidential Support Duty, which basically is a small handful of Marines that are selected to help guard the President of the United States and help keep the peace in that area around the President. And then you also get stationed at 8th and I while you are waiting for your background check to come through. So in recruit training, I got selected for that. Right after recruit training, went to SOI because that was a B billet, what's called a B billet, which basically is like a secondary job in the military. In the Marine Corps, they're called B billets. So you have a primary job or a primary MOS, and then if you have a secondary, your secondary MOS could be called a B billet. So my B billet was security forces, and then I went to SOI for my primary MOS, which was 0311 rifleman. I joined to honestly, when I joined, I was like, I want to be on the front lines. I want to be the guy holding the rifle on the front lines, going to combat. So that's what I did. So went from SOI straight to Security Forces Training School. From Security Forces Training School, they actually gave me the wrong orders, which orders are basically a document that tells you where you're going next in the military. So they gave me the wrong orders. They didn't send me to 8th and I like they were supposed to for presidential support duty. They sent me to a FAST company in Norfolk, Virginia. And FAST is an acronym that stands for Fleet Anti-Terrorism Security Team. So I was part of First FAST for 6 months. And basically, the way that I like to explain FAST teams are the Marine Corps' version of a SWAT team, if you will. FAST units are the units that go into urban environments like close quarters battle, things like that. So, for example, I believe it was last year or recently, the embassy over in Iraq was taken over. FAST teams were the Marines that they sent in to get them back because we're trained in close quarters battle, the up close and personal type of stuff where you have to go into a building, clear each room, take that building back if that building's been taken over. So I was in FAST for like about 6 months, and then they changed my orders and got them correct. I was sent to 8th and I, and then I was in President's Support Duty for about a year, maybe a year and a half. And then from there, I went to 1st Battalion, 5th Marines at Camp Pendleton here in California. And I was with 1-5. I was with 1-5 as an 0311 from about early 2005 until I got out in 2007. With 1-5, I went to Ramadi, Iraq in 2005. And then I did the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, or 31st MU as we call it, in 2006. And then I got out in 2007. So that pretty much wrapped up my military as far as the Marine Corps goes. And then I also spent some time in the Army Reserves a little bit after that. So I was actually in the military for a total of 8 years between the Marines and the Army. But of course, the Army doesn't count. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
So
I just did that for the signing bonus.
You have brought out a little bit of insight that a lot of people don't know about me. So, well, you got to understand, Cassandra, let's touch back in the Army. Cassandra is a dependent of an airborne Army enlisted.
82nd Airborne Division.
Well,
Oh, no.
We can't all join the Marine Corps. I had to.
Oh, man.
Sibling rivalry.
Oh,
it's a real
my
thing
God.
in the military.
Yeah. So one thing a lot of people, I've done a lot of podcasts and talked about things, but what they didn't know is you brought out a lot of things that me and you have in common that you probably don't even know is either, as much as we've communicated.
Huh.
I also am an 8152 Marine Corps Security Force.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
When I well, when I started my career, I actually got sent up to Bangor, Washington,
Oh,
which is, yeah, I was glorified fire
yeah.
watch,
Yep.
on the dry docks with the subs. That was my
Yeah.
security force career. And then after that, I went to the infantry, and I was with Alpha Company 1-5.
Oh, what?
Yes,
We had like almost the same path, pretty much. That's crazy.
exactly. Yep.
I was in Charlie and then
So we
HNS.
both spent our time in two of the
The elite units in the Marine Corps.
yep.
Whoa.
Unbelievable. So
We're twins.
oh yeah, pretty much, just a couple years behind, because I was 95 to 02. So you got in
Oh,
after I
okay.
went in.
Yeah,
So
literally like the next year because I went in 03. So
what
it's
month
like
did you go in?
I went to recruit training in June of 03.
Yeah, I got out December of 02. So within 6 months,
Yeah,
yep.
that's crazy.
But I was one of the best Marines, because I went to Paris Island.
I don't know about all that one, buddy. You know what's funny? We had one Marine for
so let's talk about
SOI.
what you're doing now. Let's
Okay.
go ahead.
So
What's funny?
what am I doing now? Now I'm
No,
currently
what's funny. You said what's
recording.
funny.
Oh no, I was gonna say we had one Marine in our SOI that came from the East Coast, because normally you stay on the same side that you go to recruit training in. For whatever reason, they had him come to the West Coast for SOI, and we were humping in the mountains, and he could not stand it. He hated it because he was like, we didn't have to do any of this on the East Coast. All we had to worry about was some sand fleas and some woods and some wet stuff. And he was like, we didn't hump any hills, none of that. And so he was whining on every hump, and it was always hilarious because we'd always be like, shut up, East Coast, let's go.
You got a point. We do have a lot of flat land over there. So what are you doing now?
Right now, I'm recording my second album. So to give you kind of a background, after I got out of the Marine Corps, I experienced very severe PTSD, so depression, anxiety, hyper awareness, a lot of other mental illnesses, along with some physical injuries that I got while I was in. I ended up homeless after I got out of the Marine Corps because of my PTSD. And so I spent about a year and a half at a transitional housing facility for veterans, for homeless veterans. Got out of that, started college because I found out about the post 9/11 GI Bill. I was like, okay, that'll work. Go to school, maybe I could use the stipend every month to pay my bills. Tried that for a couple of years. My anxiety and my depression were so bad that I couldn't focus in classes, things like that. I was failing multiple classes. I couldn't get it. So I dropped out of school I want to say 2013. After trying for 3 years, because I started school in 2010, dropped out for a couple of years, and I finally was like, you know what? I'm just going to get the help I need to get my life back on track, because it had been off track for years at that point, and I was tired of it. So started seeing a therapist, and in that conversation about getting to know me and my background, I mentioned to the therapist that I had been a musician or a singer and a songwriter, and I did drumline in high school, and music was a big part of my life. So after doing the assessment, she kind of like educated me, and she was like, you can use your abilities in music, like the singing that you mentioned, the writing, all the music, the drums, things like that. You can use that as natural forms of therapy for your issues. Cause I had been taking medicine for depression and things, but it really wasn't working. And so she was like, why don't you try just a natural way of going through this process? So she was like, you can songwrite, and that's kind of like expressing yourself, like journaling, singing and performing live on stage. Don't you get like that adrenaline rush? And I was like, yeah, because at that point I had performed a couple of different times, but nothing super big. And I remembered, yeah, like I get this really big adrenaline rush, and it kind of helps me like calm myself down afterwards. And I get this almost kind of like a high off of the performance. And so she educated me about like, educated me about adrenaline, and how adrenaline being released in the brain is a natural antidepressant and things like that, and how doing that can literally save me. And so I started doing it. So what I did was, one of the big reasons why I actually joined the Army Reserves was because they offered me a big signing bonus, like 12 grand. So I took that money and I bought a recording studio. I bought the computer, the screens, the microphone, the speakers, like all the pieces that you need to put together like a small home or professional recording studio. And I started doing that. I started songwriting. It worked. I started getting booked to perform at different places. It worked. So in a nutshell, basically music ended up saving my life. And then in 2017 was when I recorded and I teamed up with TMR, the Marine rapper, to do that song you just played, Gunshots. But 2 years prior to that, I was able to go back to college because I was feeling somewhat normal again. Went back to college in 2015 and went from failing grades to straight A's and straight B's. And then I graduated in 2016 with my associate's degree from a junior college, transferred to a university, and then ended up getting my bachelor's degree in 2018 in behavioral science. So the music not only saved my life, but it also enabled me to go back to do something I had thought I wasn't going to be able to finish. And I finished school, got my bachelor's degree, and now I'm pursuing my dreams in music. Going back to Gunshots, like I said, 2017 was when I released that song and that music video with TMR. That went very well. I was put on news channels for that, and they were interested in like my story of basically being like this homeless veteran who had went from having all these issues and living in his car to now a college graduate and being successful and inspiring people through my music, just through the power of music and how it naturally heals people with depression and anxiety and issues like the ones that I'm dealing with. Released my first album last year in 2021 called Therapy Session. I call it Therapy Session because music is like therapy for me, and it can be therapeutic for other people who are listening to it. In fact, I've had a lot of my listeners and my fans that I've accumulated since then tell me now that my music has saved their lives. And I actually have a couple of tattoos on my arms from quotes from fans that have told me that my music saved their lives. A couple of veterans who were suicidal and decided not to kill themselves after listening to my album. So again, that came out in March last year. And I've just been, since then, I've been working on my brand. I now have, I rebranded my logo. I have a brand new logo. It's a little bit more graphic. I have clothing lines now. People can buy clothing lines from my website. People can get the autographed album of Therapy Session from my website. So I've just been really working on my brand, and I even have like a brochure now. So I've just been really kind of like going into like a small business mindset and working on just the business side of who I am as a recording artist. And now I'm starting work on the second album. I believe it was in October. I released my first single from the second album, which is called Be You. And it's a song that's meant to motivate people to, I guess, be proud of who they are. Like, I feel like we live in a world where people are often afraid to be themselves, and they're afraid to be authentically them. And so I had hit a point in my life late last year, right before I released the song, where I finally hit that point where I was like, I'm proud of who I am. I'm finally living the dream that I had as a kid, because I had always wanted to be an R&B singer songwriter as a kid before the idea of joining the Marine Corps came into my head. And so I'm like, I'm finally doing what I want to do. I'm finally proud to be me, and I want to write a song about it. So I wrote a song that motivates people to be proud of who they are, called Be You. And that's also available. It's out. That's the first single from the second album. And right now I'm just working on the second album while simultaneously doing other things. I also act. I'm also a photographer. And then again, like, I'm just working on the brand as much as I can, so it's ready for the world whenever it gets released, as much as I can release it. And I'm hoping to have the second album done probably like around Veterans Day, released around Veterans Day, like November, before the holiday start this year. And it's going to be called Follow Up, because it's kind of like a follow-up appointment with your therapist.
That is so clever.
Yeah. So I'm basically like framing it kind of like, I'm naming the albums almost like you're going through the process with a therapist. So the first one is like the assessment. It's a therapy session. And then what do they always say? Oh, come back for your follow-up appointment next week. Right. And so the second album is going to be called Follow Up, and then I'll be releasing more music after that. But right now, that's the focus, along with the brand. And I have shirts, like I mentioned earlier. This is another one of my shirts that says, "No, you're not alone," because this is one of the singles from the album, meant to inspire people to know that they're not by themselves when they're going through hard times. So that's kind of where I'm at today.
Wow, that's a whole lot, but you accomplished a lot. I mean,
thank you.
Wow. But that's,
and then I get booked to do the national anthem a lot too. That's another thing that I'm proud of. I've been booked to perform like national anthems at like big sporting events like Dodger games, Kings games, Lakers games, things like that. So that's a big honor as well. So being a veteran, that's huge for me.
Wow. I'm kind of not surprised that they ask you to sing. I'm not surprised.
No, I mean, I was honestly the first time I ever got booked for a big game was a Rams game back in 2018. They invited me to do the national anthem at their salute to service game. I was shocked. I mean, I had never thought that I would get to a point where I was that person, you know, singing the anthem at big sporting events. You know, I mean, I used to live in my car. I didn't even know if I was going to be alive in a year, and now I'm performing in front of 78,000 people at that stadium at the time, and it blew my mind, and it still blows my mind. You know, I just performed at Staples Center, now called Crypto.com Center, but it's Staples Center in my mind always. But that was insane because Staples Center is a venue that artists all over the world would love to perform at, and I can't believe I had that opportunity. So yeah, so I'm just kind of working on the album, working on the brand, and hopefully gonna try and inspire as many people as I can through my story and my music.
I think you will inspire a lot of people. And just
that's the goal.
Yeah, just with your personal story alone, and then you have all this music to kind of just, it follows the steps of what you've been through, and it kind of guides people along. And
Right.
I know there's a lot of people who don't want to go through therapy, but music is, you're right, it is therapy. So it's another way to reach out to those who are struggling. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Elliot, where can they go to find your music, your different things and stuff that you got, out there for sale, and be able to catch you on the musical side?
So everything that I have is available on Spotify and all of the streaming platforms. Excuse me. So my album Therapy Sessions up there. The latest single BU is up there. All you've got to do is search for my name on whatever streaming platform you listen to, whether it's like Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, any of that stuff, all of them. It's all up there. And you can stream it from your phone, bump it in your car, from Bluetooth, any of that kind of stuff. And then the one-stop shop is my website. It's just ElliotMcKenzie.com. That's where everything is. All my songs are on there. My story's on there. It's my store is on there. So you can purchase the t-shirts. You can purchase the autographed albums are on there. My acting stuff is on there. My photography stuff is on there. That's basically the one-stop shop. You could literally just go to my website and spend 2 or 3 hours just browsing the website, learning about me, shopping, getting the music, all of that kind of stuff. And then on Instagram, which is probably the biggest social media platform that I pay attention to, it's Elliot_McKenzie. So Instagram's probably, if you want more of like a daily update kind of a thing, because I'm always in my stories. I like to post a lot in my stories, things that I'm doing, things that are coming up. Like I posted about this tonight. I post about upcoming events that I'm doing. And then if you just want to go to one place and just almost like you're doing a research project on who is this guy, my website's the best place to go for that. And then if you want to support me, purchase a t-shirt, purchase an album, any of that kind of stuff, the website again. And then ElliotMcKenzieStore.com is the specific URL where you can go to purchase the merchandise, the actual t-shirts. And then if you want an autographed CD, if you go to my website and go to ElliotMcKenzie.com/store, you'll see at the top of that section of the website, you'll click on the album and then it'll take you to where you can purchase an album. And then I will personally mail that to you from here. And it will include a sticker and then also a personalized letter from me along with the signed album. And it's an old school CD too. So I love like the old school CDs. You just pop it out, play it in your CD player in your car if you have one. But for those who are more modern, again, it's still available on Spotify and all the streaming platforms too. But you won't get an autograph with that. You get an autograph if you purchase the CD. So
exactly. So I put your link up there for him. So you said to get directly to the CDs, you go to ElliotMcKenzie.com/store, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All righty. I put that up there for everybody to view and catch that so they can, write it down and whenever they're listening to this, either live or listening on the replay.
Thank you.
So, Elliot, you're an amazing individual. Your story is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you're here today because we wouldn't be able to, if you weren't here today, we wouldn't be able to enjoy your beautiful, luscious, magnificent voice.
Wow, right.
You wouldn't be able to enjoy your magnificent, luscious crayons either. So,
Right.
So we're at the
Uh,
point now to where I ask you the typical questions that I've asked the other Marines that are on here.
okay.
And it boils down to the Crayon Eater, because
Okay.
when you were in, were you called a Crayon Eater?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially by other branches. I served in, security forces. We work with a lot of like Army. We work with the Navy, no Air Force. But whenever we ran into other branches, they're like, "Oh, look, it's the Crayon Eaters. Hey, you envy crayons yet?" Or I've even had people buy me crayons as a
oh
as
no.
like a gag gift, like a box of crayons. So yeah, absolutely.
See, when I got out, I didn't hear about it until about 2016, whenever I kind of dabbled and started into the idea in 2017. So
Yeah.
I didn't know about it. So this solidifies that it was prior. It's been on for a pretty long while that this has been happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always tell people like you got to think of like the different branches of the military as like siblings in a family, like brothers and sisters. And the competition and the arguments between the branches are kind of like that friendly sibling rivalry. And the Marines are known as like the dumb jocks of the branches. We're like the buff ones, the more attractive ones, but we're also the dumb butts who don't have brains, who eat crayons for dinner because we're stupid. And that
Oh.
usually kind of helps people understand where it comes from because you just think of it like a dumb jock in high school.
Well, they do say Marine stands for muscles are required, intelligence not essential.
Exactly. Yep.
So knowing that you were called a Crayon Eater, and it's now a thing that's gone through mainstream social media and everything, and now we're here bringing the joke alive. What is your thought on being called a Crayon Eater?
I mean, I'm excited. Whenever I see crayons in the store, I get a little chub going. You know what I mean? So I don't mind it. It's true. You know,
Oh,
red has always been my favorite flavor because it tastes like strawberries. I also love purple because it tastes like grape. So, I mean, it's true. I eat crayons. I'm proud of it. Excited to eat these
So
crayons ready to eat. So, yeah.
oh man.
in
You're
due
gonna
time
be
it will. So
shocked.
it's yes, you are. So it's safe to say that you have embraced the joke like many other jokes before this have come out to the Marines, right?
Absolutely. Oh, yes. Bring it on. Please. Don't get me excited with the box of crayons.
I'll just wait till you get our CREs. You're going to be more
Oh.
excited.
I
Right?
feel like I'm going to need a quiet, private room to enjoy this completely. And some jazz music.
And some jazz music.
There you go.
Candlelit dinner.
Oh
Well,
man.
Elliot, this is where we get ready to wrap things up. So here in a minute, we're going to throw you back into the green room, and we're going to cover a couple last minute ordeals.
Yeah,
Awesome. Sounds like a plan.
So
that's right. So thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Now you've got me all excited. Now I've got to go get some chocolate or something just to, maintain until I can come down there and get the CREs.
All right.
Exactly.
You're teasing us over here.
All right, buddy. Thank you for being here. And as always, we want to thank you for your service and what you've done before and what you're doing now to make the world a better place.
Definitely.
Thank you, brother.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think about Elliot, Cass?
Oh, he's amazing. And all the stuff
Yeah,
that
he
he
is.
does that I mean, I knew that he sings and he has a phenomenal voice, but I didn't realize how personal it is and how he wants to really go and help people through what he's been through, and that just kind of tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
It does big time.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we want to, this is where we usually wrap up the show. We usually try to keep it within a half hour. We got a little bit over tonight, but we just want to keep it, reminder that our website's scrolling across the bottom. Go there, get your pre-order in now, place your orders for your CREs. Reminder, they start shipping on May 1st. Okay.
That's right.
So we want to thank you with that one. We also want to keep in mind that there's other things on our website that you can be able to purchase as well. We have our certified Crayon Eater decals. We have our Crayon Eater t-shirts. We have our official mascot, Lance Corporal Crunch stickers. We also have free printable color sheets of Lance Corporal Crunch. And then for those of you that want to be able to get that special crayon in your life, something, a gift, so they can go and purchase some of our items, we have e-gift coins. We have 10, 25, 50, 100, dollar value of e-gift coins that you can send to them via email, and they can use to purchase it on our website. And it's all at crayonsreadytoeat.com.
And we also do have those Lance Corporal Crunch leather patches too.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Can't forget those.
Forgot
Those are
about
super cool.
Nope. Can't forget that one. And then also they can go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. Stay in touch.
That's
and
right.
keep going. So
That's right.
alrighty, everybody. With last couple bits of details, if you're a Marine veteran and you've got a business or you got something going on out there in the world that you're doing, you want to share, please let us know. Reach out to us. We want to be able to get you onto the show and highlight a lot of great things that other crayon eaters are doing out there in the world. And you can shoot us an email at info@crayonsreadytoeat. And for those that want to get our crayons into their store, what can they do for us, Cass?
I'm sorry.
To get our
My headphone
crayons
just
on
cut
their
out.
shelf. Technical difficulties. I'm not the only one.
I know it just weirdly cut out halfway through. So I'm so sorry. Please repeat.
So for those that want to put our crayons in their storefronts or in their locations, how can they get a hold of us to be able to do that? And what do we need?
Oh yeah, definitely email us and let us know if you're interested in putting our product in your store for sure, because it reaches more people when there's actual product in the stores. It's not just online. But
yep, they ain't gotta wait for it to get shipped to them.
Yeah.
So exactly. So our next show is going to be in 2 weeks, which, if my brain serves me correctly, and I'm going to pull up the calendar just to verify so I don't botch that one. Our next show is going to end up being on April 19th.
Mm-hmm.
So
April 19th.
We're going to, any more news that we come up with, we're going to let you know. We're going to keep you informed. And, we'll have another wonderful guest on Crayon Eaters Unite on April 19th, 18:30 Pacific Standard Time, 21:30 Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you that don't understand military time, 6:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Pacific and Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you again, everybody, and we will catch you on the next one.
That's right. See you next time. Thank you for joining us.